Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Charge of Life podcast. I wish you all a very happy World Physiotherapy Day today. On this occasion, we have a special guest on our show. He's a friend, he's a colleague, and he is more of a mentor to me. We have Dr. Mohit Kumar with us, who has always been there. I have known him from last 15 years now, and we guys haven't lost touch since then. He's a pretty chilled out guy, and I guess that's the only reason, despite being physio, both of us being physios, we guys haven't lost touch since all these years now. So, welcome sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nishant. Thank you for inviting here.
So, how are you?
Bus, fine. You tell.
Well, all good sir, all good. Sir, tell us about your journey as a physio.
Nishant, my journey started way back in 2000, and it is a mixture of both good experiences as well as some bad experiences. I completed my graduation in 2004.
Okay.
And then I started my post-graduation and completed in 2007. Later on, I moved to Dehradun and Haldwani as an academician.
Okay.
And in 2009, I came back to Delhi and I started my clinical practice in Indrapuram. And since then, I am practicing as a clinician.
Okay. Okay. So you have been you have worked as a lecturer for 2 years.
Yeah, almost for 2 years.
And what all subject did you taught?
I initially taught orthopedic physiotherapy and biomechanics.
Okay. So I guess that's the reason you are still a bit interested in always teaching people and taking some workshops.
Yeah, I think academics, or you can say teaching, is in my blood.
Okay.
I still take workshops for my colleagues, for juniors, for physios. I still take workshops.
Okay. On various topics.
Yeah, on various topics, whether on techniques, whether on basics of physiotherapy, everything.
Okay. Okay. Sir, what kind of conditions do you mostly encounter now? You have been practicing since so long.
Nishant, being an orthopedic physiotherapist, I am mostly encounter orthopedic conditions.
Okay.
Osteoarthritis knee, frozen shoulder, tennis elbow, neck pain, back pain, and I also look various sports injuries, ligament injuries. Then you have tendon injuries, muscle sprains. So I mostly look orthopedic and sports injuries.
Okay. Okay. So you are actually taking care of most of the things which actually almost all of the physios take care of.
Yeah, you can say.
And since you talked about sports physiotherapy, sports injuries, what all are you doing with such athletes?
I'm basically looking after these sports athletes for quite a long time.
Okay.
And what we are doing is we are planning their treatment in such a way that we include everything. We include their biomechanical correction. We can go for their conditioning. We can go for their flexibility training, and then we can go for their basically sports specific needs.
Okay.
Whether it's on the ground or at clinic, we can decide on what all things we can do for their sports specific need, and we focus on those, and we try to enhance their performance.
So you take on-field sessions as well?
Yeah, I take both on-field sessions as well as at my clinic. Both.
Okay. Okay. See, I have been practicing sports physiotherapy since very long now.
Yeah.
ठीक है, तो काफी स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन्स आते हैं, इंजरीज होती हैं, एंड इवन आई एम इनटू नाउ आई हैव स्टार्टेड ट्रेनिंग. It's been over 2 years now. I have started training sports athletes, amateur athletes, and especially young athletes who want to enhance their performance, who want to prevent themselves from being injured. And as you said, what I think about physiotherapy is that physiotherapy is not only working on correction or treating the injury.
Yeah, definitely. You said it right. It's not just curative, it's both curative, preventive and promotive.
Right.
And I know you are looking after for these almost 2 or 3 years. You are doing this for training sports athletes.
Yeah,
And that's a good thing.
we guys have been in touch.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because even I myself looking after a group of marathon runners, and I came to know that you are also looking after these.
Right.
So it's good. Now we should work on the enhancement of their performance, not
Right.
only just treating the diseases or injuries. We should work for enhancing their performance by any way, by correcting your biomechanics, by correcting your exercise pattern, by correcting your disease process, anything. You should increase their performance.
Yeah, that's the need of the hour.
Yeah, that's the need.
Since many people now, I am seeing are amateur runners. People are getting into fitness. They are going to gyms, and at times these people tend to overuse their muscles. They tend to injure themselves, and most of the cases are either tendinopathies, muscular strain, or what I have said, overuse injuries. And these people are actually even looking for preventing these injuries in near future.
Yeah, definitely. These days, basically, what the thing is, ki people are coming up more towards fitness part.
Right.
They are working more into gyms. They are for running marathons. They are for cycling. Everything. Now the thing is, they are doing this for their fitness. It's
Mhm.
good. But the thing is, you should be correct with your techniques.
Right.
In spite of just going for fitness, you should look for whether you are doing it correctly or not. ऐसा ना हो कि आप overuse injuries create करो. ऐसा ना हो कि आप और ज़्यादा problems create करो.
Right,
So it's
right.
much better कि you should be under the guidance of a good physio who can guide you actually कि how to work on, how to improve your performance, आप कैसे best कर सकते हो और कैसे और लोगों से अलग हो सकते हो.
Right.
You should work on that. And we as a physio are working on that.
So the first advice comes out for all the amateur athletes, all the runners out there, that no matter how much you train,
Definitely.
always consult the physio. Always keep your physio in the loop.
Definitely.
Right?
You train with good trainer,
Right.
but do have a consultation with your physio.
Okay.
The
Okay.
physio is in a much better way can tell you what is best for you. So definitely
Right,
you
right,
should
right.
have a consultation.
Okay. Okay. So, sir, what other disorders do you treat? What other disorders do you get regularly on your clinic and in your regular practice?
I also see some neurological conditions,
Okay.
post-stroke rehabilitation, then you have facial palsies,
Mm-hmm.
nerve palsies. We also see those. But since I am not into the hospital setups, so I am not much into the cardiopulmonary rehabilitation.
Okay.
But that is also an important part of physiotherapy.
Mm.
Then we have pediatric rehabilitation, then we have geriatric rehabilitation, then we have gynecological rehabilitation. Even nowadays, mental rehab is also there. Mental health is also an
Mental
important
health.
part. Mental health is also an important part.
But how much a physio contribute in mental health?
A physio basically devotes much of the time with the patient.
Okay.
So since I am devoting at least half an hour or 1 hour, so I should be able to at least help the patient with the mental disorders he or she is experiencing. We can help the patient in basically stress management. We can
Uh-huh.
help the patient with basically sleep deprivation if he or she is experiencing.
Mhm.
So we can help it out in any way.
So you mean to say that physiotherapy is a holistic way of treating a patient,
Yeah, it's a holistic way. It's a holistic science.
holistic science, and that too without medication.
That to me out, right?
That too without medication. A general question: why should a patient should opt for physiotherapy rather than going for the traditional medicines?
Look, these days what patients are experiencing, they are experiencing more of physical problems.
Mm-hmm.
You have pains because of postures, you have pains because of overuse. Now they are recurring in nature. Now if patient is going for only for medication repeatedly for these,
Mhm.
definitely you can have some side effects or adverse effects.
Right.
So now what the patient is looking for, we can get rid of these problems, and we should not have any side effect or adverse effects. So that's why now patients are more prone towards physiotherapy, and they are opting more towards physiotherapy than going for allopathic medicines. It's basically through physical measures, by electrical modalities or exercises, and it's devoid of any harmful effects or side effects.
Right. See, the changes of lifestyle we have seen in this COVID pandemic time. So people are working from home. Their work hours have increased very much, and people are actually coming. What I am seeing at the patient, I have got 90% of the patient who are young.
Yeah.
I suppose that's a myth that physiotherapy is only for old patients. 90% of my patients are young, who are actually suffering from back pain, neck pain. They are coming with tennis elbows and other posture related disorders. And these people are actually, what I have seen, what I have experienced, stress is a major role play.
Yeah, stress is a major role.
And these things do give rise to lifestyle disorders.
Definitely. You said
What's the role of physiotherapy in lifestyle disorders?
For example, what other thing is, these young patients,
Mhm.
what they are experiencing is, since during this COVID-19 pandemic lockdown,
Right.
they are not working out much.
Okay.
They are sitting on systems,
Mm-hmm.
either doing their own work or teaching their kids anything. So they are experiencing these problems. They are not only experiencing back pain, neck pain. What they are experiencing is increase in weight.
Mm-hmm.
They are experiencing rise in their blood sugar levels,
Mm-hmm.
cholesterol levels, increase in thyroid levels, stress management. So our role is, basically we should provide a holistic approach to these patients. Being a physiotherapist, I am trained with exercise part, I am trained with yoga management,
Uh-huh.
I have a insight into my diet modifications.
Mm.
I can even tell the patient about stress management. I can even tell them about meditation. So
Mhm.
we should include all those things, and we should provide a holistic approach toward these lifestyle disorders. And these lifestyle disorders are basically directly related to our physical problems.
Mm-hmm.
We have fibromyalgia, again related with your stress part.
Right.
We have frozen shoulder related with your increase in blood sugar
Blood
levels.
sugar levels.
We have increased cholesterol level, then it can lead to your low aerobic capacity. So everything is related. And if you are obese, definitely you are putting more stress onto your knees. You are more prone to your osteoarthritis.
Mm-hmm.
So these lifestyle disorders directly or indirectly are related to your physical problems.
Right.
So what you can do is, you can correct these lifestyle disorders, you can advise the patient about these, and we can have the betterment in the physical problems.
Mm-hmm.
We can decide on a treatment protocol in the better way of FITT. You know
Yeah,
what is
frequency,
that is
time,
frequency.
type, and
It's frequency,
intensity,
type
time and
type.
type.
So we have to decide on what frequency, what repetitions the patient have to do of exercise, what type of intense exercise he or she has to do,
Mhm.
what type of exercise or what duration of exercise he or she should follow, so that we can have the betterment in the metabolic process.
And that includes both aerobic, anaerobic,
Everything, aerobic, anaerobic, resistance training, everything.
everything. Okay. So, and since these days, like in the last 5 or 10 years, cases of oncology, cases of cancer have actually increased to a very high level.
Yeah, bilkul.
So, what is the role of physio? What is the role of a physiotherapist in oncology cases?
What you can say is, oncology cases में हमारे दो तरीके के होते हैं.
Uh-huh.
While the patient is going through that oncology process, oncology cancer period,
What through his therapy?
through his therapy,
Ah.
what we can do is, we can help the patient with improving their quality of life.
Okay.
We can help the patient to cope the pain which he or she is experiencing. And in post-surgical rehab process, what we can do is we can go for the conditioning process, we can go for the strengthening process, we can go for the lymphedema management.
Lymphedema management.
ठीक है. तो जब पेशेंट का थेरेप्यूटिक पार्ट चल रहा है, ट्रीटमेंट पार्ट थेरेपी चल रही है, तो हम उसकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं कि उसका दर्द कम कर सके. इसी तरीके से हम उसे दर्द कम महसूस होगा तो उसकी क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ इंप्रूव होगी, वो अपने समय को अच्छा व्यतीत कर पाएगा. और पोस्ट सर्जरी हमारा काम जो है वो रिहैब का है, हम उसे उसी लेवल पे लेके आए जिस पर वो पहले था. वी शुड इंक्रीज द मसल मास, वी शुड इंक्रीज द स्ट्रेंथ, we should increase the flexibility so that he or she can do the activities which he or she was priorly doing.
And we should try to increase the vital capacity of their lungs.
Vital capacity, aerobic part.
Aerobic part. Right, right. Okay. So, sir, discussing all this, here's a question for all the new budding physios, the new physio graduates. What are the career options a physio can look for his or her career?
For a physio, the sky is the limit. First
Okay,
thing.
all right.
What you can do is you can go for clinical practice. You can be an academician. You can go for research processes. You can complete your doctorate and go into the researches.
Okay.
Even what you can do is you can go for medical summarization, medical coding, you can go for your masters in business administration, then you can take some entrepreneurship, you can go for some, what you can say, into the research part, which can be artificial intelligence research part or biofeedback research part, or you can do robotic research part. So anything. You have lot of options post graduation. The only thing is you have to decide on what my interest is, towards what things I am inclined, whether I am inclined towards clinical part, whether I am inclined for research part, whether I am inclined for academics part. Decided into your third year or final year, what should I look for, and try to go into that. Work on that.
Okay. One should explore different things.
Exploring is not restricted. You can explore anything, but definitely if you have decided I have to go into this, surely work on that.
Work on that. Right. And keep hustling. Always try different and new things.
You should try.
You should try. You never know what may interest you, what may get you better results.
Yeah,
What
there are a
may...
lot of things in physiotherapy.
Right. Ajay sir, you talked about research and artificial intelligence. So provide us some insight about these things.
Because Nishant, if I am looking after some stroke patient, post-stroke, or I am looking after some sports patients, sports amateur athletes, in both cases what I want to do is I want to improve their performance. Now, what I can do is I want some techniques or some processes which are more advanced.
Okay.
Whether it is biofeedback techniques, whether it can be visual techniques, whether it can be auditory feedback techniques, anyway.
Okay.
So researches can be towards these things. We develop some new techniques so that we can provide the best treatment to the patient. Okay. We can decide on with robotics. We can have some techniques by which we can give better gait training to the patient.
Okay.
So these all are basically research part. We have to do more and more researches toward these things. We should read more and more articles. We should read more and more researches. We should work on these. We should work on research part and try to bring some new things.
Okay.
You never know, you can be a good researcher.
Right. So what you are trying to say is that physios should also think about developing some new apps, since this is the digital age now. People do have different kind of apps. There is fitness app, there is speedometer app, and there is a kind of app I came across which actually takes your finger on it senses your finger on the finger sensor, and it tells you about your pulse rate and your oxygen level.
Everything.
So even I agree to what you have said. I think people should the young physios, not even young, मतलब केवल young नहीं, जिन लोगों को experience भी हो गया है, people should actually look for developing some apps, some softwares, what all new and digital platforms they can provide to the patient.
Technology is the need of the hour.
Right.
It's the new domain.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say it's new normal now.
Hmm.
You should have various websites or apps by which we can provide a customized or individualized program to the
Okay.
patient. It's not necessary that patient directly come to our clinic only.
Mm-hmm.
We should have something by which we can provide them the best protocol at their home.
Right.
And that is the need of the hour. We should work on that.
Exactly. So, sir, coming back to the physio, the traditional physio part. This is a question which always rises whenever we treat a patient. We use electrical modalities and we use manual therapy. So, this question is always there in our minds. Which is better, electrotherapy or manual therapy?
तो निशांत, ये क्वेश्चन वैसा ही हुआ कि आप मुझसे पूछ रहे हो व्हाट इज बेटर सर, कि भाई वी शुड हैव फ्रूट्स और वी शुड हैव वेजिटेबल्स, फल खाएं कि सब्जी खाएं,
Okay.
क्या खाएं?
Uh-huh.
दोनों खाओ एंड यू शुड हैव इन एम्पल अमाउंट.
Okay.
ठीक, जहां आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट आपको लगता है कि इंडिकेशंस आर टुवर्ड्स इलेक्ट्रोथेरेपी, यूज इट. एंड जहां आपको लगता है कि वी शुड गो फॉर मैनुअल थेरेपी, गो फॉर इट. Go for exercises, go for strengthening, go for balancing, go for postural training, go for manual therapies. You have mobilizations, you have manipulations, you have Maitland manipulation, you have Mulligan manipulation. Go for anything. Even you can use taping, you have dry needling, you have cupping, use anything. But everything has its own indications.
The main aim is to relieve the pain. The main aim is to treat the patient.
The main aim is to provide the best treatment possible to the patient.
Right.
Use any of the techniques.
Okay.
It's not like that this is better or that is better.
All right. So, sir, you said cupping therapy, dry needling. There are a lot of workshops going around. Whenever I open my FB, my any other LinkedIn account, there is always notifications of say 5 to 10 workshops happening daily. So how good are they? What's your take on that?
The I will say that first thing is it's always good to upgrade your knowledge.
Okay.
Keep on learning.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is you look for the credential of your speaker,
Okay.
whether he or she is working in that field for long or not. He or she has experience of that technique or not.
Okay.
Then you decide on your own interest, whether that technique or whether that concept interests you or not. And if it's so, then definitely you should attend the workshops or conferences. The only mantra is keep learning. You should clear your basics. You should attend various workshops regarding your palpation skills, regarding your diagnostic skills, even for your basic physiotherapeutic part, whether it's electrotherapy, whether it's your exercise therapy. But keep on learning in any form. It's always good to learn, whether it's from your junior or it's from your senior.
Right.
It's always good.
Right. Okay. So, sir, give us a few golden words about practicing, golden words, or you should say guidance for our juniors who all are listening to you. So,
Because the only golden word I should say is to be true to yourself,
Okay.
true to your work, true to your knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, keep on learning.
Okay.
The sky is the limit.
Uh-huh.
Keep on reading, keep on learning. And third is love everyone. Love your juniors, respect your seniors, love your patients, love your colleagues. These are the only things.
Okay.
You follow these things, you will be successful in your practice.
All right. So, guys, before wrapping up, I should tell you one thing. Charge Up Life Academy and Dr. Mohit are joining hands, and we are launching a course, an online course on preventive and promotive healthcare. Its first batch will be on 20th September 2020. It will be a 6-hour course. सर कुछ बताइए सर उसके बारे में.
Because this course will be for the healthcare professionals first thing, and we are basically aiming to give you an insight about the holistic management of the lifestyle diseases. Whether it includes your diet modification, whether it includes your yogic management, whether it includes your exercise protocols for lifestyle diseases.
Okay.
It also includes stress management, meditation. So we are having everything which is related for the management of these lifestyle diseases. Not only for obesity, it's also for diabetes, thyroid, cholesterol increase, hypertension, everything. So it's going to be a new domain for physiotherapists and other healthcare professionals.
Okay. So guys, join us. I'll put the description in the description area. And so let's wrap up the episode. Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Nishant.
So, the guys, this is Dr. Mohit Kumar, and that's it for the episode. So, guys, this is your host, Dr. Nishant Gupta, signing off from the Charge of Life podcast. Stay blessed, stay charged up.